Yes. Won't address it. No one's gonna address it, but they'll just take it as it is.
They'll take in the comment. Oh, so Nneji's room is very cultured. It's got
It's
all
like he's got a decent setup. I expected to see a bed, but you know, we've got something there for the people. There's a little bit of the view of the outside. I don't know how long the sun's gonna last.
Raw, man's really thought about the setup then, yeah?
Yeah, it's my first time using Zoom, so I thought I'd do it justice, you know.
You're not using it for work?
No, I use Microsoft Teams.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few people are using that, innit?
Yeah. So
Right,
I just had to quickly download Zoom. I'm even doing it on my phone. Yeah. How have you been, man?
Yeah, man, not too bad. Like over the last few days, just been. So I recorded another podcast yesterday with another girl I met through, bro. So you know Gary V.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks ago, yeah, he put out a piece about like joining forces with other people who are trying to do something like creative or entrepreneurial or something like that, some shit like that. And he was talking about just like finding your team, because he was all on this individual hype before, but then he was like, actually, it might be good to just find like some people just to
that is very key. That is very key. That is very key.
Yeah. Like for real, it helps.
Absolutely.
And so based on that, like he just put that out there like as a video, and then bare people commented on it, liked it, whatever. Then he put another post out like, yo, okay, I see everyone's trying to look for people. Under this comment section, just do your thing. So bare people commented like, yeah, I'm in London, I'm in this part of London, here, I'm Chicago, New York, wherever. Fam, the thing was mad. Anyway, this girl commented on it saying looking for people in London. Like she said she's a videographer, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Got a few things there, and then like loads of people commented. I commented on it as well, and then I commented on a few others as well. But she was the only. She like DM'd me, and then we met up, and yeah, we did the podcast together yesterday. Cool girl. She's like she's a YouTuber. She does Twitch as well, and she's a videographer, like I mentioned. So yeah, she's been in that space for like quite a long time, like the creative industry for time. So yeah, filmed something with her yesterday.
Yeah, that's good. That should be interesting. I like Gary V, man. I don't follow him, but whenever I hear him, like I like where his mind is, and I like what he shares. But now I'm seeing that he has people, like people move with his words. That's power. That's power. As long as he stays friend and doesn't become foe. If Gary V decides to go against your business, he could just say one or two things and everyone will take their business away. Like that's power right there.
Bruv, it's mad, yeah. So in the last couple of days, because he started this, he's bare proactive. So he started this thing called Tea with Gary V, yeah. And basically like it's a new show based on this fucking pandemic. And basically answers questions for 2 hours in the morning, some web show. So two chicks have been on there just talking to him and like talking about how they're not putting enough content out and they're scared to put a video out. So he's like, he gets onto them. He's like, yo, you need to be putting video out. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, give me your app now. And now everyone watching is going to go to your page and is now going to watch the video. Fam, their pages have exploded. Both of them are on like 15K followers after having like less than 1K a few days ago, just from being on his show.
The industry is so weird. The industry, yeah, like, it's almost as if the industry has been taken down, but it hasn't been taken down, you know. It's just been, you know, dispersed a little bit. It's just been spread out thinly. Like, right now, Gary V's a gatekeeper. It feels as if gatekeepers have been removed because of online stuff and all that, but nah, he's just the new gatekeeper, just someone like Gary V. Like, it's no longer some guy in some head office that you never see. Like, it's just someone like him giving you a shout out. Like, there's a page that I follow a lot,
Yeah.
Nature is Metal, because I'm into that type of stuff.
Yeah. I've seen you
I
post
don't
a
know.
few of their things actually on your
Yeah, like,
story.
yeah, they post like stuff that isn't for everybody. It's very unique, and it was my treasure, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a really good page. It's an amazing page. Like, anyone who's remotely interested in that type of stuff would love that page and will follow it. But if you don't see it, you don't see it. Joe Rogan just mentioned it. It was kind of just like, just kind of slim. He just kind of said, "Yeah, there's a page I like called Nature is Metal." This page, like, just went from hundreds of thousands to 2 million, and now I don't know the guy behind it, but he's definitely changed his occupation. His occupation has definitely changed. Or if he's still doing what he's doing, the pressure that he had before, like if he's doing a 9 to 5, the pressure in that 9 to 5, he probably speaks with a lot of bass in that office room. There's a lot of bass in his voice, knowing that you don't have to do this. Like, he's here because he wants to be here.
If his manager tries to chat to him anyhow, he's like, "Bro, do you know
You know, you start demanding your respect in places.
Because you know that you got something else to fall back on.
Exactly. I definitely want to get to that stage in life, like where I just have something to fall back on, where I don't have to rely on anything. Because that's once you get desperate, and having to rely on something so strongly just makes you vulnerable. It makes you have to take things that you're not willing to take usually. Like disrespect from a guy who isn't above you, but because, like, when you look at the office workspace, someone like a manager, especially like a project manager, that person isn't actually above you when it comes to ranking. But in any team, you're always going to treat them with respect because they deal with resources. So if they randomly decide that, oh yeah, your position isn't really needed as much, then your job's on the line.
It's mad, fam. It's mad how much, like, and I'm in it as well. If you're working for a company, you're in that structure because of what a man or woman above you thinks of you, even though in reality you should just move with your own, like, of your own accord with what you think's right. There's this mad pressure of knowing, raw, if that person decides not to like me or the way I move, that could cause issues. Like,
and everyone
like my bread, like my peas are at stake if that person decides, you know what,
and everybody wants to be real in life. Everybody wants to be real in life, but you got to pick your battles if you want to keep moving forward in life too. Like, you got to pick your battles. Like, if you decide to be what you feel is real in every moment, then you're not getting anywhere. Well, the chances are you're not getting anywhere. Some people do make it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got to be willing to, like, eat shit for a while to then get to a point where, okay, you understand, right, I have the leverage now. So with the leverage, I can be as real as possible.
Yep.
But when you don't have the leverage, I guess it's a case of.
But yeah, if you are taking shit, you should take shit with purpose. Don't just be taking shit with no plan. Take it with purpose. Take shit knowing that you're doing this to get the leverage so you don't have to anymore. Don't just be roaming around taking shit for no reason and have nothing to show for it after. Make sure there's a goal.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I think a lot of people start, or in some way they take a creative route, not even to just like escape from the structure, but to escape mentally from the structure first, rather than, okay, let me get my P's and all that. At first, it's just a way of, like, I'm not really expressing myself in this avenue, so let me go, like, deeply express myself in this space.
And maybe I'm only speaking for myself and like-minded people, but I feel like that's the only way you can function as a human being. You need, like, a project to be working on just in life, something that comes from you. You need some. If it's not what you're doing in life, if it's not like the way you're making money, it has to be somewhere else. Like, you know, some people, they're all about their business and that's their life, that's their baby. But some people, they can't get to that stage, or they don't even care for that stage. Some people, having a 9 to 5 is the best reality for them, because that gives them everything they need so that they can do this whole other life they're living, which they definitely want to be doing. Is their life work, it's their project, but it doesn't give them any money.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the balance, the yin yang. Okay, this is the yang that balances the yin of this other thing, which is which might not even be something that's viable. Think about, like, because if you think back to even YouTube, when YouTube first came out,
hobbies became
like, it was the first few years, people weren't even talking about peas. Like, it wasn't about, it was just random videos. Like, yeah, I remember KSI playing FIFA, or what's that guy, Niga Higa, like them lot, and it was more kind of a, oh, this is what these men do in their spare time, rather than like hobby. And it's funny because initially you just do it as something like to, I guess, to, like I was saying before, express yourself.
a way
and
to
then
express yourself.
it
It
can
might just
suddenly,
be simply because it's fun.
yeah, and then
It might simply
suddenly,
be because it's fun. And you randomly, for some reason, there's these special people that randomly get passionate for no reason. Where everyone else is just dipping their toe in, having fun, and then leaving, these people just become passionate. Like, why did KSI keep making videos and getting super excited? You know, before you even had, like, he probably had 2 views, you know, maybe just his few of his friends. Why was he passionate to keep going until he started seeing results? Like, and if it's something that wasn't proven in any way. Like, there's no reason for you to get passionate, but you get passionate anyway. Those people are the people that just, they break the way things are in the moment, and they just change society randomly.
You know what that reminds me of, you know, bro? Actually, let me introduce the podcast very quickly, because I haven't done that yet. So welcome to the Garden of Edun podcast, where ideas grow, and I'm here with my boy Nneji. To be honest, in a nutshell, I would ask you to describe yourself, but I'm gonna do it for you, because this guy is the most creative guy I know. No fucking cap. No cap. This guy is like, and I'm sure anyone who knows Nneji, who's had the pleasure of knowing Nneji, will tell you the same thing. This guy's just like a creative madman to bits. So
I am very, very humbled. I've done what people want to hear me say. I am gassed by that introduction. You know, people want you to be humble, be like, yes, you know, they want to see that you're not big-headed so that they can support you. But get all of that. Let me say how I feel. I am gassed. I'm like, yes. No, obviously, people that don't know me are like, but who is this guy, though? They're looking at the camera, looking at me like, who is this? Like, does this person deserve anything? I haven't seen him do anything. But I guess if you know me, then...
If you know Nneji, you know.
Appreciate me differently. And I'm very grateful to hear reviews like that.
It's true, man. Like, for real, from since I knew you back in uni when we first met. So the point I was going to make on what you said, actually, about doing something with passion and not knowing where it could lead, was you, all the Snapchat stories that you used to do in Nottingham. That era of what, like 2 to 3 years maybe, where you were doing it, if I remember rightly, like 2012 to 2014, 15 kind of time. Bro, your name was it was like, I go on Snapchat, and if it wasn't like, you know, girlfriend at the time or whoever, I'd be like, yo, where's Nneji Snap? I want to see. Raw, Neji's got, I'm watching that.
This was a period when people barely used Snapchat, so I really occupied the space, and a lot of people, like, I'm the reason why they're on Snapchat at the moment, because there wasn't really much reason to have Snapchat. But so for some reason, I just felt so comfortable with that platform, and I just went in.
One of the maddest things, yeah, is now that I think back to it, I think at the time I was still like towards the end of, you know, that BlackBerry phase that everyone had. So when everyone was on Snapchat, I still had my BlackBerry, and I remember people talking about Snapchat and then quickly going Nneji Snapchat as like some branding. So I'm thinking, bro, I need to get a phone with Snapchat so I can see God, like what's going on.
You're making it sound like you got a phone because of me. I don't care whether it is or not. I'm adding that to my resume, bro. You add that to your resume.
Like, cut that bit out, yeah, in the post-production. Cut that little clip out. And
whenever
like,
I need to like really sell myself to somebody, I'm just gonna be like, I was out here making man buy phones just because of me,
like just at Samsung, Apple, Hawaii, like all the phone brands be like, yo, what you lot saying? Sponsorship deal, yeah?
No, imagine having that power, bro. I guess Gary V's probably someone that has that power, what we were just talking about. People that can move the masses.
It's crazy.
And to be honest, we all have that power to a degree. Like we all have influence, but yeah, some people more than others.
Like how did you, because at the time, yeah, like now, I feel like, so if I talk about my experience with like being creative and sharing my creativity and just me as a person anyway, it's not something like I would class myself as an extrovert, but in terms of sharing my work and things which are like not the norm, it took a bit of getting used to. But I do feel like right now, like in this point in time, it's kind of more accepted. So if you're doing that, it's not like raw, someone's doing that. It's more like, okay, I kind of see why, like the blueprint, I guess, is there. So it makes sense in the heads of a lot of people. But when you were doing Snapchat and doing it in the way you were doing it as well, that was very like raw, like this is mad new. So my question is like, either before you started doing Snapchat or in the process of getting used to it, what led you to want to be that kind of person who was able to just like share things which are I can't even describe it. I can't even describe, but your creativity.
I felt like I anticipated this question just a little bit before the podcast. So I gave it a little bit of thought. I haven't gone deep into it, but off the top of my head, I feel like it's mainly two things. One, I was a very happy person. I was a very happy person. Like, I've had a few ups and downs over the last few years, I would say, but I used to be someone that can be very happy no matter where I am. And then, so it was being a very happy person. And by happy, I mean like really content as well. Yeah. That plus, I felt like I was sick. Like when I'm doing something and I feel like I'm enjoying doing it, I look down on everyone else. Like if you're not appreciating me or appreciating what I'm doing, like I'm that narcissistic enough that, okay, you're just one of those box-minded people that, you know, you haven't ever stepped out to do anything like good. Like that's how egotistical, like doesn't like, yes, like what I'm doing is sick. And the way someone is looking at me, probably thinking, whoa, why is he that confident to do all of this on camera? It's probably the same way I look at girls that will post selfies or people that just post selfies. So for some reason, my brain is even backwards on it. Like,
wait, what do you mean by the selfie thing? Like,
okay, so like on Snapchat, maybe the when I started posting loads of stories, maybe the other few people, and when I was posting stories, as you know, it was always like content or I'll be doing something crazy and I'll be doing a lot of extra stuff and that's when I'll show it. Like, I feel like you should see it because I'm sick in that moment. And when I see someone posting a message, posting on their status, like either selfie of them, you know, they just quickly took a selfie and now they're putting that on their story. I'm there, like, my brain is so confused. Like, why did you think this was worth sharing? Like that's how I see it. Like, even on Facebook, when someone just puts their status on Twitter, I'm like, why were you so why are you so confident? Where did you get your confidence from? Like, you man are looking at me like, where am I getting my confidence? I'm looking at them like, where did you get your confidence from that you feel that this is good enough for the people to see? Because you're presenting it to the people for no reason.
Yeah.
Where did you get the confidence that this was enough? Like, yes, this is what you guys get to see. Like, that's how I'm seeing it. So it's almost like it's backwards. I can't explain why it's backwards fully, but maybe it's because I'm always looking to perform to a degree, maybe. So I'm not just seeing it as posting whatever. I'm seeing it almost as a performance. And you decided that this performance was good enough for the people. And you're doing it, so I guess it is. And I'm like, wow, I didn't have the confidence then at all. And it's just not my thing to just post me and present that to the people and that's enough. Like, that to me is crazy. Like, yeah, like, I better be doing some sick pose that you've never seen before, or in some mad location where you've never, like, no one knows where this is. But if it's just a basic picture, I am confused. Like, wow, where did your confidence come from?
Wow, that speaks a lot to what I've come to learn about social as well, and what a lot of other people say. Like, it's about the value that you putting content out is about the value you're providing other people, and especially for yourself. If you see yourself as an entertainer or someone providing entertainment value, just a random selfie, like, all right, cool, but where's the value for the other person who's watching it? But it's mad that you thought that so long ago, when the norm was actually, I'm just gonna back the selfie, or I'm gonna show the little snapshot of what I'm having for dinner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I guess, and so I thought I was sick. And part of that was also because I was happy, and when I'm happiest I'm most happy when I'm just doing loads of different things. When I'm the type of person that's always getting out there, trying new things. I'm always willing to do that, getting involved. I'm involved. I'm always involved.
This guy
if you
was
saw me in uni, I was either a member or affiliated with 50% of the societies that existed.
Bro, man was doing,
and just willing to do stuff.
Like rollerblading, like, what was it? Roller hockey, like blading hockey, whatever it's called, like hockey on blades, like handball, like dodgeball, futsal. Like, man was doing everything. Choir, like.
Yeah, man. Yo, you see, the rollerblading, actually, that was actually quite key in who Nneji was when he was in uni. Because the rollerblading was the first time when I realized, it's like, oh, I'm about to do something out of the norm.
Like, talk more on that.
I've joined uni. It's been a month now. My rollerblade, I've only just learned how to rollerblade as well.
Yeah.
I learned to rollerblade just before summer holidays started.
I know I know the story already, but it would be good to share, like, how you got into that, because if that was the thing that opened up I'm gonna try something creative, different, out of the norm, then that might be a good one to share.
So in terms of actually starting to rollerblade, that was literally just, my friends are doing it, so I'm just gonna do it too. Oh, they're all using this type of rollerblade, let me get this one because it's cheap, and I do it. But if I'm fast forward to when I started doing it in uni,
okay,
I've had my rollerblades with me for a month, and I love rollerblading, but I haven't seen a peep about rollerblades. I barely see cyclists at this point. And this is just me in the small hub that I've seen so far. So just like the first years in our accommodation or halls. And I want to rollerblade, but the first 2 weeks I thought about it, I've looked at the blades and like, is it that time though? You know, I just kept saying that to myself. And after 2 weeks, you realize it's like, oh, I have to make a decision. Am I going to be the guy that backs himself and does what he wants to do? Or I have to wait until, I don't know, it looks like it's okay because someone has done it first. Like, and I just had to tell myself, I'm not a sideman. Like, I had to I actually had to psych myself up to it. I had to use things like that. I'm not a sideman. Like, anyone that's not appreciating it is because they're not on my level. You know, they're still trying to be cool, and their version of cool is being sheeps. Is being sheep. I can't believe I just said sheeps. Their version of cool is being sheep. Like, they're not trying to set trends or do their own thing. They're just trying to make sure that they fit in with what's going on, and that's when they call themselves. That's what I told myself. I had to tell myself, I'm basically just cussing everybody that I see before, just to psych myself up. And then I just started rollerblading. And, you know, I started off small. You know, no matter how much confidence I give myself, I still have to start off small. You know, just go to little. I have to make it something like this. I need to make it funny. I need to make a statement. So I decided to do shopping on rollerblades. It's like, it just look cool. Go there, come back. It's quick. It's cool. And then, yeah, I just kept going. It did add the pressure to me though. Like, before, when I was rollerblading, if I fell down, it'd be fine. Like, that's cool. But because I truly believed that 50% of these people don't rate the fact that I'm rollerblading. No one ever told me this. Maybe I got a sly comment here or there, but I just told myself that, yo, people aren't gonna like respect. A lot of people don't respect this. They're probably looking at me like, oh, you're too old to be rollerblading. Why are you doing this? And they're gonna keep doing this unless I look sick. I told myself they're gonna keep thinking this unless I look sick. So if I'm not looking sick, I just look stupid and I look like an overgrown child. So whenever I was skating, I was always making sure I'm on point. I'm always going fast or doing a few tricks or just posing. I can never look like I'm slipping or I'm lacking composure.
And going fast in Nottingham, by the way, like for anyone who's not been, the hills on the 2 main roads in Nottingham are mad. And this guy was doing this downhill.
When you're young, it's easy to risk your life.
Boy, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, when you're young and having fun, it's easy to just risk your life randomly. Like, now I would still do it, but I still question myself for trying it for the first time. Like, now I'll still do it because I'm more confident in my rollerblading. But then I had no business. I had no business trying it for the first time. Like, like I even started competing with cars. Not racing them, but I was really like putting my foot down. Like, I belong on the road. Like, I am a vehicle. You respect me. I would comfortably block a car if I can't be asked to move out the way. But yeah,
that's so mad, man.
Yeah, that definitely set off a few events.
Bro, I mean, from the outside, it looked impressive as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. You're like, bro, man's just gliding down the hill like it's nothing. Well, inside you were kind of like, ooh, this could get a bit sticky.
And, you know, and as you're doing that, you start to tell yourself, nah, what I'm doing is sick. Like, I just tell myself, what I'm doing is sick. And I just started developing that belief. And I'm also trying to back that up as well by also doing more stuff. Like, what I do is sick. I'm the guy that does sick stuff. I want to be the guy that's always getting involved in the things that look cool. I want to be that guy. If you're watching my life, I want you to see that this guy is enjoying and I want it to be because he is enjoying. Because I was happy.
Yeah, that was a good period of time. I felt like the energy in that time was really good. And you know what? I feel like, so firstly, it looks like you took on that mindset with then everything you did. So first it was with the rollerblading, and then it was with like all the other activities that I mentioned that you then picked up. And what I also think as well is, in a sly way, maybe we wouldn't have said it, or maybe we didn't say it as much back then, but you inspired a lot of us to just do different things, you know? I really believe that, like, I
I never thought of it like that. In terms of activities, I never thought. There's one thing where I knew I definitely influenced in a bit when it comes to like MOB.
Oh, jeez!
but,
How could I forget
but
MOB?
yeah,
Oh
but
my God.
But no, that makes sense, especially if you're watching someone doing different things every day. It'll probably make you think about what you're doing.
Yeah, for real,
I
man.
never thought about that at the time.
For real. Because, I mean, if you think about like, not to specifically mention names, but a lot of like the engineering group, shout out to the engineering group, those who know, a lot of us did or started doing just random activities and things. I think because of how inspired we were by you, you looked very comfortable with doing it, happy as well, good energy, like were able to share a lot of that with us. So it was quite, it was almost like you gave the permission for that to be a good thing. So
That's true. Because deep down, people probably want to do it, but sometimes it needs to be done for you to realize like, oh yeah. Sometimes you're just not thinking about it until someone shows you like, yeah, there's these other things to do. Then you realize, oh yeah, I should put these options under my bucket list as well.
Yeah, like for real, and it definitely made life more interesting. The few things that I tried. I mean, I think it happened towards the latter part of uni as well, but no, definitely, it was definitely inspiring. But yeah, bro, MOB, MOB, and
Man's on a
no,
budget.
I needed to pre-frame by saying no, we're not talking about the generic MOB money over bitches. None of that. None of that stuff. We respect women out here.
MOB.
MOB was. Oh my God. MOB was more than a saying. It was more than a movement. It was more than a culture. It was just it was a way of being. It permeated every decision I made for a good number of times. And you know what? Even still today, okay, the extent to how mad that phrase has become is that my little sister and my mum both have said MOB to me in the way that you
Every time I hear things like that, I get gassed. And then I feel silly because, well, why don't I have the mindset to monetize all of this stuff and jump on it like, then like, why am I celebrating all these minor little things? But that gasses me anyway. Like,
nah, bro.
That's it.
Get gas. My mom will say MOB to me, like MOB, if I'm thinking of buying something. And I'm just like, obviously in the moment, I understand what she's trying to say. And I think of it on that level, like, oh, why is mom saying I look buy this thing? But then when I really deep it and I think, rah, how's just a random saying that my boy at uni was just knocking about become something I hear all the time from the mandem or my own family. So yeah, talk a bit on how did that even happen? Like what? Yeah, how did that even happen? MOB.
Okay, so for people listening, because we've gassed up this thing that they don't even know about.
Nah, those who know though.
Yeah, obviously those who don't know.
They know.
But other people are like, why are we talking like there's some life-changing event has happened that they don't know nothing about? MOV is just something I started saying in my Snapchats quite a lot. It means man's on the budget, and it means you're gonna prioritize your P's, innit? You're gonna make sure you're spending properly. And the way that started, it was really I can give so many different origins to this story. I can start by saying maybe it was my barber one day, because we all had to figure out how we're gonna get our hair cut when we moved to Nottingham.
Yeah, that was a challenge.
And I've always had a simple haircut. I don't do that much. And this guy randomly started charging £9 for a haircut. And I felt insulted because the work, at this point, I was still able to get a haircut for £5 if I went to the right barber in London. So when I sat down in a Nottingham chair, place that I thought would be cheaper, and was charged £9, I felt insulted. I felt like he was telling me, he was exploiting me basically. He was literally saying to my face like, oh, you're pathetic, you can't do it on your own. So I can charge you whatever I want. That's what I heard. When he said £9, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. And
yeah.
I don't like being in that position for no reason. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna learn to cut my own hair. And I did that. And it's just little things like that. It's just little things like that. When they accumulate, they all bring up the idea and the concept of what MOB is. Like, it's not necessarily always about spending as little money as possible. Sometimes it's just about, no, I don't value this at what you're trying to charge me. I'm not gonna just pay you the money because it's the norm. Like, what, everyone is paying you, so therefore I have to pay you. Nah. I'm gonna do what I want to do in this moment. And I feel like it came natural to me specifically because I've always just been doing different things. And because I'm doing different things, I've always had to value things differently to other people, to like most people on average. So like most people will be willing to pay whatever on a cab, but I genuinely love to walk. I genuinely love to walk. Like, walking is something I genuinely love to do. So if the place we're going is actually walking distance and I have plenty of time on my hands, I've literally got no reason to be taking cab. In London, I would walk. But for some reason in uni, everyone had this cab mentality. Like, everyone took cab everywhere. For the simplest of things, everybody took cab. It was a strange culture shift for me. And I had to just take ownership back. I had to psych myself up and I had to start declaring that, nah, man's on the budget. And you don't want to be the guy that's labeled cheap. You know, that kind of weighs on you. So maybe as a coping mechanism, you start making it funny. You start owning it in a different type of way. You know, especially because you're not going to start explaining to people that, yeah, no, in this moment, I'd have to do this now.
Yeah.
I start, you know, owning this situation and owning this concept. Like, no, I am a guy who, you know, goes against the norm. If it goes against himself, like, I'm gonna spend the way I want to spend. And you know, you make it funny so that it's appealing to people and people buy into it and they accept you as who you are. I like to think people have different ways of trying to be accepted. I think humor is generally the way I tend to try and fit in and adapt and belong. Like, people will have their different ways. Like, I tend to try and being humor is usually my way of dealing with society. I don't know, socializing and stuff. But yeah, MOB was fun, man. It becomes a movement before you know it. You start believing in it too much and you start doing mad things in the name of MOB.
What's the maddest thing you did? If I remember.
You see that free pizza that they were given in Domino's?
Oh, bro. Yeah, I remember that free pizza.
I mean, I'm highly proud of it. I am especially proud of it. But as someone who, pizza is not even like up there for me. Like, when it comes to like takeaway, pizza's not up there for me. Like, if I want to choose between things, pizza's usually one of the last things I choose if I have all the options available to me.
Yeah.
But I had a massive stack of free pizzas. Like, I kept going, and if I felt like they recognized me too much, I would skate to a different branch. Like, it was that deep. I kept using. You were only allowed to use one at a time, but I will always. I'm doing the most. Like, I'm not even hungry anymore, but I'm doing the most. I just want everyone to know that I exploited this deal in the name of MOB. Like,
bro, just to give people context, at our uni in Nottingham and probably quite a lot of others, Domino's would used to come to our freshers fair and then another fair in January, and they'd give out like their menu, and on the menu there'd be like one slip or one like little piece of card, and it would be enough to get like a free personal pizza. So it was like, I don't know, 5 inches or something. I can't
Yeah.
remember the size. But
One was
with,
never really enough for someone if they were trying to eat.
yeah, if you were trying to have a
You
meal,
always-
2, 3, and then
Yeah.
you're talking that. So what you could do though back then, I don't know if it's still the case now, maybe they clocked onto it, you could just keep going and collecting bags and bags and basically collecting like 10, 15, 20, 30 of these menus. So you only had 1 week to claim the personal pizza. So it was for that Freshers Week or for that 1 week in January. So Nneji, it sounds like you did a lot of collective, bro.
Yeah, man. It's very weird because sometimes it's like you're going to the, you're having so much fun collecting and exploiting this deal that I'm almost going against the very nature of why MOB might have even started. MOB was just about me being able to do what I want to do in that moment. But now I'm doing the most.
For
Like,
MOB.
yeah, some people might be watching this and be like, bruv, it's just £1 to top up to the higher version of the pizza. Just pay the pound or pay £3 for a normal pizza. But it gets to a stage where it becomes so fun because you've been riding this MOB so much. You want to keep upping the levels. Like, you know, this time I got 1 free pizza. You want to show that as the leader of MOB or the guy facing the movement, I want to keep increasing it. I want to keep increasing it. And it just becomes fun. And it's good because once it becomes a movement, it becomes okay. The judgment disappears. When I tell the people in my circle, like, one of the reasons why honesty is the best policy in life is that you never have to like tell people. People will always know who you are. You never have to like lie about who you are.
Yeah.
And you never have to like feel judged because why are they judging you when they already know you're like this? So if I was acting like I'm cool, and then I'm saying, oh yeah, no, guys, can we walk? People be looking at me like I'm cheap. What's wrong with me? And I'll be feeling ashamed that they're looking at me like that. But because I'm this MOB and they all know it, if I say MOB, they're like, oh yeah, makes sense. Like, they don't even question it. They don't even think about, you know, why someone didn't, like, you just have to use the word MOB and they just get it straight away. In fact, they're not even thinking about it. They just be like, it's fun to say MOB. In fact, let's ride this movement too for now. Before you know, I'm hearing other people who have also picked up the movement. I might say MOB to them. They say MOB to me. And it's like, cool, we're both on the same page. Like, it took that judgment away. It took that judgment away. It's like, that's when I realized I succeeded in what I was doing initially.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. I can say I don't want to do this without having to feel type of way. I don't have to hide in my shell. I don't have to just go along with it because of peer pressure. I'm the peer pressure in this moment. Like, I might be the peer pressure. I just say MOB and it flips. Usually the peer pressure is making me go out of my way. By coming off as super confident and going out there and really declaring it, I've become the peer pressure. And that's what it was. Like, I'm trying to be like, no, I exist in this world. People that don't want to do this exist in this world. I'm fed up of having to do this because everyone's doing it and I can't. And if I do go against it, I become shamed or I feel some sort of judgment. No, I am here. You people will know about me. I'll be one movement, you guys can be this other movement. So when I decide to go on MOB, they'll accept it, they'll acknowledge it, like, oh, I get that type of living. I understand that way of moving. And it was fun. It was funny. Especially once I started Snapchatting, it makes me want to, it brings that accountability. Like, you know, when you're filming yourself or you're letting people know what you're doing, it makes you want to stay on point. Like, it'll be easy for me to just do MOB for one moment, make this decision that, yeah, I'm going to start living for me from now on. And then after a month, I just start falling back and going to normal. But because I've declared myself on Snapchat, I'm producing content with it, having fun with it, it keeps me accountable. So I get to keep on my path of MOB.
You're committed to it. You're committed. You know what's funny, just as a last point on that peer pressure one, bro, even when you weren't there, like, I'll tell you about a moment that happened kind of recently in life.
Yeah.
When I was in Australia with the boys I used to live with in the Gregory, you know them, man. So we were at a pre-drinks and we were gonna go out, and I remember we checked the taxi prices, and it was a little bit steep. I remember we checked the walking distance and it was like 10, 50 minutes. And all it needed was for one of the boys to say MOV, then everyone was like, oh, rah, is that what we're doing today? Then everyone's like, but wait, should we get the taxi with everyone else? And that pressure just hit. So, man, I say probably one of the greatest creations in my, like, in terms of like uni life and like our culture, like the little subculture of people who went nuts or people from London who went nuts, the best. MOB was the best creation out of that time, the best, bar none. So yeah, say for bringing that to the table.
Hey man, I thought it was sick, so I showed it to the world.
Hey man, and that's what you're kind of doing now. But there was a bit of a lull, bro, in between, let's say, like the end of uni and maybe a few years after that. Like, for me, I was expecting the transition from Snapchat up to, yeah, I'm doing this all platforms, YouTube, Instagram. But it didn't happen for a little while. What was going on? Was there a particular reason, or was it just chance that you just decided, yo, I'm not gonna be that character or whatever it was?
So there was definitely no point in my life where I made a decision of, yeah, I'm not gonna be that online character anymore, because my platform was Snapchat, and Snapchat was always there, and I was always happy to share Snapchat. The time when I did make a decision was even through Snapchat, was even during uni. It was this decision that I'm not really going to be using Instagram and Twitter. Facebook was already dying. People don't really use that to express themselves anymore. That's just like a calendar place for setting up events. But when it came to Instagram and Twitter and things like that, they were always too public for me.
Right.
They were always too public. I never even used Instagram at all, so I didn't even know you could even put your account on private. So I wasn't even doing. So I could have probably jumped on that, but I didn't even know. But things like that were always too public. So that was one of my barriers when it comes to being creative. Like, as someone who gets involved in so many things, in so many different things, I mix with so many different crowds as a result. And nobody's like one type of person. If you're like one type of person, I don't know, maybe you're not boring, but I can't imagine that someone that's like the way you are with this type of group of people, you're completely the same with your parents or family, or the same with another group. The way you are at work is exactly the same you are with your mandem. I'm definitely not one of those people. I'm still me, but there's different versions of me. Like, maybe there's a part of the core that always remains the same, but there's always different versions of me. And with different crowds, there's loads of versions of me. And I don't know if you've ever been in the position where maybe keep it simple to the same example. Your work colleague meets one of your mandem and you're in the middle, and you're prim and proper with your work colleague, which is still Dami, because that's part of you. That's why you're even doing it. And the way you are with your guy, you've never spoken proper English with him. It's that deep. And they both meet in the same position. And like, you don't really want to show both of them the other sides
the
of
other
you.
person. You know what? I've been in that position, definitely, but more recently I've worked on trying not to be that person, because I know where you're going with that scenario anyway.
Basically, that for me, for some reason, I was highly sensitive to that. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I was highly sensitive to that, but for some reason I was. like the concept of everybody seeing a different version of me that I feel they're not supposed. Just that lack of control, that just made me shook. Like I was staying away from those platforms. Like if I post this, anybody can see it. Like, I can't think of a post that I'm happy with every single person seeing. There's a post I can post where I want these people to see and not the other people. Snapchat was comfortable. If I post something, it's only 24 hours. So even if the wrong person sees it, it's not gonna. They're not gonna have time to really deep it and come up to me. And then the people I had on Snapchat were basically the same crowd. It's all uni. Like even if uni still had different crowds, but it was all good enough. Like I could keep the content generic enough to match everybody, and that was fine. That kept me comfortable.
And to
So
be fair,
once
at uni, that fallout of different characters didn't really. It's not the same in that environment.
Yeah, the dynamic is not as different. But yeah, once I left uni, for some reason I didn't feel the need to. I don't know. I kept it up a little bit, but I just found myself drifting from doing Snapchat, and it could be so many different reasons. I don't know. Maybe I was less happy. Obviously, I'm at home now. I'm no longer in this beautiful environment where you can literally do so many different things. If you're thinking of things to do, there's like a huge list. Like right now, you're at home. You've got some. If you want to do something, it requires a huge amount of organizing to do. Your normal crew, like especially if you're someone that doesn't have that big squad at home. Like I've got friends at home, but I don't have this big circle that's like you just come in, you're hanging out every day. So each person is organizing to meet. It's just a lot of that. It's just a lot of stars aligning to make me drift away from Snapchat. And one thing about creativity is the more you do it, the more creative you get. Which is always weird because when you're on the outside and you're not creating, you always wonder, how does King Batch keep coming up with ideas? Like, how has he not run out? But you don't but once you're in it, you realize it's a muscle. Like the more you do it, the more ideas you create, because it's just like this. Your brain will always stay switched on. So after being switched off, then just switching off, it just becomes harder. I remember I did a post one time on Snapchat, and I felt like I was trying hard. And that was very weird. Like, I felt like I was really trying hard. I felt like for the first time, even though I've always been seeking attention to some degree, in that moment, I felt like I was seeking attention. Like I was trying to be a version of me that I'm not right now, or that I don't want to be right now. I don't care to be right now. And that made it easier. So I've got all of that going on in my head, I guess, and then just the lack of opportunity to do random things. So I'm now getting to this point where I don't even think my life is that sick.
Right.
So just a little bit less, I'm starting to think my life isn't that sick. It's just regular. I'm going to work, coming back. I can hype up a little bit, but little by little, it's not really feeling worth it. It's not worth posting. Why do you need to see my commute home like today? I haven't done anything special. So little by little, I started to believe in my content less. And not even that I'm afraid, oh no, people aren't going to appreciate this. It's that I'm not backing it as much. So
that's real.
So I just naturally stopped doing it. I remember the one time I started doing it again was when I went to Nigeria. So the happiness has just randomly come up. Like I feel like I'm in a sick place. I feel like I'm doing sick stuff because I'm in my village and we're doing loads of different things every day. Now I feel sick. Like I'm happy, like very happy. Like I'm excited, I'm doing things, and I think I'm sick. My Snapchat was filled with content, like a lot. Loads of people that only were new to me were like, what's going on? Like, yo, this guy is sick. I had you know, I'm seeing people like posting like, yo, you guys need to add Nneji's Snapchat. Like, what's going on? I didn't know it was this funny. Like, yo, this and it's like, that's when I realized it's like, oh, okay. It's not that I've changed. Like, it's not that I'm not this type of person anymore. It's just certain conditions need to be met for me to feel as comfortable as I was in uni, just posting randomly like that. Like, my content definitely depends on my mood. My ability to create definitely depends on my mood, which is unfortunate if you're trying to be a huge professional and be on point, always delivering content. But for someone who's doing it for fun, like, it just became, it is what it is. And it took a while. It took people like you, because we had a talk about this
we
one time.
did last summer, didn't we?
Like, even though I'm like, I have to either get over, like, the result of our conversation, like, you basically told me like, yo, you need to get involved, man. You need to get back to being you, because you were just giving me the pep talk and you were giving me the social marketing stuff, like telling me all of that stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm missing out. I should be getting involved. Whether I make it or not, I should at least put myself out there, see what happens. And that's what I wanted to do. So I told myself, okay, either I need to get over what's holding me back, those mental barriers of putting myself out there, or I've got to find a way around it. But bottom line is, I need to start being me again. I just need to start being me again. And it also made me realize that, yo, I've been holding back for a while. I realized I started trying to be normal. And it's weird because I've always been like the fighting against what's normal. I randomly realized, oh crap, for the past 2 years, it's not just the circumstances that have made me normal. I've actually been trying to be normal. Like, if you're watching objectively and look at my actions, they've all been leading towards trying to be normal. And like, I've not been putting the same effort, or at least a decent effort, into doing what makes me what makes me happy.
So you've not been as authentic, like, you've not been being your authentic self. You've been like, okay, let me be this other character, which is the normal guy character.
Exactly. And it's not like a complete shift of who I am, because the things I'm doing, I still want to do them. But I'm definitely neglecting a huge part of what makes me happy. And it just made me feel like, oh, right. And it made the years go past really quickly and feel wasted. Like, I felt like I'd just been coasting. Like, what new skill have I learned? Or what has gotten me so excited over the past few years? It was very weird. And so I started flipping that and like putting the effort into being me. Before you know it, you're happy again. Before you know it, you're getting more involved. Before you know it, you've now found different ways to get around this barrier. And that's why I've started becoming active again.
And that's interesting, because I was going to ask how you transitioned to the point you described, where you were putting stuff, where you'd recorded stuff and you thought, I'm not really feeling this, to then this new alias of yours, which I think it took a while for the penny to drop, but geez, it's a deep concept, but also on a surface level, it's really funny as well. It's bare jokes. And that's the Where's Nobody character.
Where's Nobody?
Where's Nobody?
A character called Nobody.
Like, does this relate to what you were saying before about having to be the different people? So you said before you didn't like the friction of being one person here with this set of people, but then being another person here with this set of people, and then like another person here. Was that kind of your way of
I wouldn't say it wasn't like a complete deliberate move where I thought, okay, I'm not going to be me as myself. I need to quickly find an alias. That definitely was never a conversation, but that definitely helped me say, all right, cool, I'm definitely doing this. Like, as soon as the idea popped in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is what I've needed. This is what I want to do. This is what's going to be fun. I'm going to love doing this. That was the main thing. I was like, oh crap, I'm going to love doing this. I can have fun with this.
Yeah.
Where it started, again, it was kind of me getting involved again. Like, my friend does music. He's trying to do music. Shout out Chiz Faber.
Shout out Chiz. Shout out Chiz, man. Go check my man out. Yeah, go on.
He's doing really good stuff. And if you've seen the costume, if you check the costume on the page, I wore that once for Halloween. I wore the costume. I just thought it would look cool. I saw someone wearing a morph suit back in the day. I always wanted to wear a morph suit. So I had a morph suit, which I hadn't done anything with because you don't really get many opportunities to just put on a random morph suit, especially when you're not in uni where you're allowed to just be crazy and people go, fair enough. Like, you're not, you know, in uni is just okay. Like, you do something crazy. Everyone just looks at it like there's so many reasons why someone can be going crazy and it's okay. Like, they just accept it. They just accept that they don't have the context. Whereas if I just randomly walk out in a morph suit on the streets of Hackney,
the judgment, the
judgment is going to be heavy. Like,
and then when they realize who it is, like, what? He's a big man, you know? Like,
what's grown man doing with this? Why is he playing games? What is...
check your boy Nneji, fam.
Exactly, that.
Yeah.
So I've just had that morph suit. And so because of that, I just had it lying around. I did one day think of the idea of making it into characters because I liked my Halloween outfit. I thought, oh, this would look cool. I wonder what other types of outfits would look good with it. So there was one time where I sketched different outfits just for fun, but it was never going to turn into anything because for the reasons we just mentioned, like, why am I wearing a morph suit right now?
Yeah.
Like, there's literally no need to be doing this. And then, yeah, like I said, getting involved with Chiz, he's doing music, you know, he's also creative, basically. He's going to be doing music videos. He immediately thought he knew about the Halloween character. He said to himself, he said to me that it would be good to have that Halloween character in his video. He doesn't know what it will be doing, but it would be good for that character just be in the video, like maybe just a nice bit of randomness. Maybe a character appears every now and then, just a nice bit of randomness. He said that, and it was weird because I remember in the moment I cut him off and was like, "Oh my gosh, Chiz, you're like you know when you finally find purpose."
It clicked.
Like, it was just a weird thing. It's like, had this floating concept that I buried. You know, it would be nice, and then someone finally gives me purpose. I'm like, whoa. I finished his whole paragraph. It's like, yes, the character's gonna have his own page. I'm like telling him all these things. He's gonna have his own page. He's gonna be reoccurring. He's gonna be doing all of this. And then I went back that night, started thinking, but what's this? I want this character to be a thing, but what's it gonna be like? What makes sense? After thinking randomly, just the idea of Nobody just came about. Yeah, what's the character's name going to be? I just said Nobody. So I'm like, yo, that's just how the page was born, man. I just kept having fun with it and still having fun with it. Just personify what Nobody is and just have fun with it.
Oh man, it's amazing. Like, you know, on the point of the music video as well, like, because I think you were on the Fuck That Shit music video, right? That was the first one. I really think that was a key element for why I listened to that song more and then was like, yo, this is a jam, you know? And it's probably one of my favorite songs of his. And I remember you being in that because you're wearing the Niger top. Was it the Niger?
Yeah.
Like, jacket.
That was a fun video to shoot because obviously this is like debut. I've not done stuff like this before. And I'm just in the middle of King's Cross. And I'm like, I'm in a morph suit right now and I'm dancing like I'm not in my ends. Like, I'm acting like I'm someone who traveled to London and there's no one around that can judge them. Like, it just felt weird doing such a randomness in the middle of the
Yeah.
night. And the only reason why it's accepted, the only reason why it's okay, is because we have a camera and a
Camera
tripod to
recording
be
you.
professional. But yo,
Wow.
that feeling was exhilarating. Like,
Yeah.
you know, when you wear sunshades, it could just be me, but I definitely get this strong. Whenever I wear sunshades, I feel invisible in a cool way, like in a good way. Like if I'm on the
Yeah.
train and I'm wearing shades, I feel like I have this thing in me telling me I could do whatever I want. Right now, I'm undercover. Like people don't know who I am. It's just shades, I know, but I literally feel as if I'm covert right now. Like I can look anywhere, no one can see that I'm staring dead in their face. So that now you bring nobody where it's a full-on costume where no one knows who I am, what I am. I just feel that like this. So I'm just gassed by the whole experience. I'm like, okay, cool. Now this page is
Yeah.
I'm definitely doing this page properly. Like I'm gonna do this page justice. I'm gonna make pictures. I'm gonna make videos. I'm gonna see what I can turn this into,
See
and
where
I'm
it
just gonna
goes.
keep going. Also, and if you look at the page, I even have places where I just start doing random proverbs and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I just saw, like I said, it gave me purpose. I'm like, oh, all the creative things I want to do, I can literally just do them with this guy. I don't even have to. A therapist might say I should face my problems, but I don't even have to go against
you
that other stuff.
you can just do it with the character
Yes.
as a metaphor. That's one of the things I really like the character for, just the smart little metaphors
Mm,
you use the character to come out with, which are I think what I like about it is how, okay, you have the concept of nobody and
yeah.
like not having a face, essentially not having an identity,
Mm,
and navigating the world that way, and it being like it being relatable on two levels. So the first level, surface level,
yeah.
being like very funny, very comedic, very like almost slapstick in a way, and then
Mm,
the deeper, like philosophical, metaphorical things that come from that character and can relate to people in their everyday lives. I think it's genius, bro. I think it's genius.
it's genius and it's fun. And it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's good because there'll be so many times when I'm thinking, I need to make sure that nobody understands what I'm trying to say this character is. I don't want people to feel like, oh, this character is a human being whose name is nobody. Nah. I don't want
Mm,
them to even know that this character actually exists in this picture. I want them to feel like I'm always going in my head, like, what do I want them to think when they see this character? Like, I want it to be
mm,
nobody. I want it to be very ambiguous. I want them to interpret how they feel this picture
mm,
should be perceived.
mm.
Yeah, it's
So
really fun.
I guess what I just said is my own interpretation of the character, and maybe someone else has their own. Ah, that's mad. That's so mad. Um, so obviously you've been doing that for, I guess, just over a year. Is it
Yeah.
just over a year, something like that, or like a year?
I don't think it's reached a year. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's reached a year.
We, I guess, what,
Maybe
like
like 8 months.
8 months or
8 months.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I distinctly remember last summer becoming aware of the character. So I guess, yeah, probably 8 or 9 months. So obviously that's, yeah, that's a, like, it's, I guess it's
Mm,
early days, but it's a,
absolutely.
you know, a good chunk of time. Has
Yeah.
there been any like opportunities that have come out of being the character, or is it just like, you know, networking with certain creators that you wanted to, or what's kind of what's happened, like
At
what's
the moment, the opportunities that have come are still mine. You literally kind of just said it. It's the people I'm able to network with now.
mm-hmm,
So obviously, a lot of people, even some of them just coming from my friends that were already there, but they wouldn't even have reached out to me if they didn't see me doing something. Like
mm-hmm,
obviously I'm out here wanting to do things, but they don't know that I want to do things unless I'm putting something out. So you got people like that reaching out to you. because of that, I'm getting invited to stuff. Like, I get to sit in certain rooms where you never know, the next artist might be created, the next video platform might be created. So you start work. So at the moment, I'm at the stage where I'm starting to work with a lot of people, and I'm now making a lot of these online friends who eventually I might start making content with, being able to expand, because that's the direction I'm trying to get into now. I've done a lot of stuff on my own and with the small circle that I have.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to like, okay, if I want to have this presence, I need to try and create presence. I need to start networking, getting with people, doing stuff with loads of different people. It's a bit difficult when it's not the main thing that you're doing. Like, obviously everyone's working and doing stuff at the same time, but
yeah, for
get
real.
there, man. Get there. You got to use the hours in your day.
Boy, man, even like I feel that even with like the process of writing the book or even doing this podcast, like you just have to find the time. It's hard. I think it's finding the time and also just like accepting that you're not going to be able to do everything in one night or in 2 nights or in 3 nights. Like, you just have to.
That is a very big thing, because it's so easy. I don't know if it's a creative thing, whether it's a Nneji thing, but I do know 1 or 2 people who are like this too. While they're in the creative process, they go through spirals. They go through these downward spirals where it just becomes so hard. And it's not like it's a block where you don't have ideas anymore. It's just, you're just in a state where because you're so pressured on what you need to do or what you're not doing, before you know it, you get to the point where you're disappointed with yourself and you're not even doing anything. And it's very weird. You just have these weird, it's almost like you go on a 2-week holiday from your hobbies and your happiness, like every few months. It's very weird. You have to not put too much pressure on yourself sometimes to avoid that. At least, or be a bit more realistic with your goals sometimes. Sometimes you can tell yourself that now, by now, you're going to be doing all of this, all of that, all of that. And you don't even think about all the things that could be blocking you. And before you know it, something you thought would take, half a day hasn't been done in a week, even though in your mind, you're actually trying hard to do it. But there's just so much stuff stopping you.
Yeah.
And because of that, now you're just feeling down. And it might not be then that you start to go through the downward spiral, but now you're just in a bad mood. And then the next time, it happens again, or just something else happens along the way, now you're in a state. Sometimes if you put too much pressure on yourself, it can really backfire.
I feel like that's the long-term battle of someone who wants to do something creative. It's how you manage your mind in the process, because like everyone's got ideas, everyone wants to do things, and you might even actually be executing on wanting to do these certain tasks, like get your videos edited, clean up your page, like get some branding for your page, push out this many bits of content every day. But sometimes you just hit something which you just didn't expect, like your laptop starts moving booky, or the video editing software goes mad, or something, or like you thought subtitling a video was going to be like a 2-minute job, and you've been on it for 3 hours and you haven't even got half done. And just, I guess, understanding.
I think it's the lack of control sometimes. Sometimes I think it's the lack of control. The fact that the thing that's happening to you, you feel like you don't feel that much control over it. Like you said, your software just ran. Like, that's the type of thing that will really be pushing me down to that state. Just the fact that this is blocking me. Like, it will make it. Like, sometimes something like this happens. You know what to do. You know what you need to do. It's bish bash bosh. You just get over it. Fair enough. It takes you longer than usual. But then sometimes it can just put you in a state where you don't want to do anything else until this thing is sorted, but you don't even know how to sort it, or it's taking longer, or just the idea that this didn't happen because of me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't foresee this in any way. It's just, And it's weird because when I think about this type of behavior, it makes me think of those artists that you see in the movies that are always acting so high and mighty. Like, you know, the artists that they'll tell you they only drink the tea of, you know, the flower made in Thailand that was born, that was
Yeah,
grown, I don't know, fed cow's blood in order to
yeah,
sprout.
yeah, yeah.
Like
That
you know,
that
those sort of artists that are so particular about everything and how they have to be in the mood. I'm not gonna wake. They'll tell you, "Oh, I'm not gonna wake up today. I'm not gonna get out of bed today. I'm not doing any work today just because I'm feeling." Even though they've been paid and then you, like, you know, if you're their assistant, you're just dealing with stress every day.
yeah,
Like I feel like it makes me believe those movies because when I watch those movies and I see that character, I'm like, this is obviously fake. Like nobody is like this. But I can see how you get there. I can see how you get there. I can see how you get there. Just trying, like that's if I just decide that that's the way the person wants to deal with their state of mind, or
yeah.
they've come to the conclusion that they're not gonna put pressure on themselves anymore and they're gonna demand what they want. Like, I can see how you go from this to that
Right.
and understand that that person exists.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it now and trying to put it together. I thought you were gonna go somewhere different with it, but
Yeah,
so what you're saying is they found the thing that gets them out of the feeling blocked. So they're like, okay, I need these particular things because
yeah.
they take me out
Either
of
they
this
found
state
it or they've told themselves that this is what it is. They've
to
told
get
them,
them into that
and
flow state,
exactly,
essentially.
and because they know that bad state so well, because they're so familiar with that bad state, they're gonna be adamant that no, they need these things. Like, I must have these things. I am the type of person. No, I require this sort of bed. I can have this type of sleep. Like,
Mm,
I can see how they get there because they're trying to maintain themselves and they want to avoid being in a rut. Mm. What what would you say makes you creative the most?
oh, man just flipped it, you know.
And I know it's something I was thinking because you know when I said I was anticipating a few questions and
Yeah.
the one that you asked me before and this one, those were the two things that were just like getting to me. Like I wonder what they
Mhm.
are. Like what makes you tick when it comes to creating? Would you say,
Um,
or what would you say brings the best out of your creativity?
that is a really good question, and if I'm being honest, not one that I've explicitly thought about. I think,
I have just put it on you.
yeah, you really did. But I'll try and answer it. So I
Yeah.
think one of the things that makes me quite creative is, or what excites me about creating is building stories out of nothing. I really like the concept of like creating a story out of like out of nothing. Um, so that's why I like to hear about a lot of people's stories because it gives me kind of source material to like take bits and pieces from, and then of from someone's life, and then from another person's life and another person's experience, and kind of mold them and weld them and kind of co-opt them a bit to create my own story, which is why or how me writing the book even came about in the first place. But I think even in the conversations I have, like I remember back in uni, um, I feel like I was doing a lot of the voice note stories in the group chat.
Yeah.
Um, and I just like doing that because I could even add like my own little spin to it. I don't know, I like stories. So anything creative
Mm.
which allows me to tell a story, um, I connect with quite well. So
Good. Good.
that's what it
So
is.
like one of the main reasons why I asked that as well is because every now and then I'm trying, like it's almost like a game that I have with Chis Faber.
Yeah.
I like trying to define music, not music, define art. Like every now and then, like my definition of it changes, and it's weird. And I guess one of the ones I'm on right now is your ability to make something desirable out of nothing, or make something that isn't desirable and make it desirable. Like being able to create that transition is art. And I was also thinking of what I was also trying to answer that question myself. And I think where I'm most creative is when I need to be resourceful. When like I actually need to be resourceful, which, you know, if you say that MLB completely makes sense, but just in everything I'm always doing, like my most funny videos or the videos that I felt were funny, when the ones that weren't me being active on the streets and rollerblading, the ones that were just funny for the sake of being funny, they were always about me being resourceful in some form of way. And I feel like, and you saying that you like creating stories out of nothing, whether that's like whether that's the true definition of art in some way, or being creative, like whether that, I wonder how strong, how that strongly defines being creative and art. Because I love it when, like, I think that's the part where I get the thrill, when I want to do something. I know the video I want to display, and I don't have all the tools. I don't have the fancy camera equipment. I don't have all the props that you expect. So I now need to look at my room. I now need to look at my surroundings. And I told you, like, there's a simple example is, I decided to make a video of me hunting at some point in uni. I can't remember if this was a Snapchat or a YouTube dodgeball video that I made, because that happened as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
And I remember I'm here making this story, and I want to make a hunting scene. And I'm not gonna buy like a zebra. I'm not gonna go to the zebra, and I haven't got the time or the patience. This is during exams. I haven't even got the time or patience to learn how to do some expert editing, to start putting myself in with Zebra, Photoshop, and whatnot. I don't even have like an amazing video editing software in that moment. But I want you people to see a zebra, and I want you guys to see me hunting an animal. That moment is when I get excited. Like, I'm now looking in my room, what can I use to represent these things in a way that they'll get it straight away, and it'll be funny that I used that to portray the message. So I'm there, I'm like, okay. I remember, I think I found like a black and white Union Jack, and that became the zebra. Like, I just remember having to do that and coming up with special ways. Like, that's where I'm always my most creative and excited about creating. And when I think about it, there are many times when I've had a habit of creating in a certain way with a minimal amount of resources, and then all of a sudden, maybe someone helping me out, or maybe thinking it's about time I level up. Like, let's say I'm used to using my camera.
Yeah.
And I've needed a selfie stick. This is actually something that happened. I was using my camera for Snapchat the whole time. My phone camera for Snapchat the whole time, and just my phone camera and my hand.
Yeah.
And I've needed a selfie stick for time, or I've needed, Snapchat to do handheld, hands-free version. I've needed that for time. But I've always found my ways around it, and it's always been really fun finding a way to hold the camera yet still show all of this stuff. For some reason, it's fun.
Yeah.
One time, the dodgeball team, just as a way to like celebrate me for providing some content, they decided to buy me a selfie stick. As soon as they got me a selfie stick, I couldn't create what all the ideas for that required selfie sticks out the window. And even when I did have them, I just didn't feel driven. I just didn't feel driven to do them. It's very weird. That's something I have to watch out for. And it's happened a few times with the nobody thing too, where I've kind of removed a barrier that I've been working against for time. I've almost defined myself as the guy who works around this barrier. There's this hurdle, and I've defined myself as the guy that jumps hurdles. Like, I am a
Yeah.
guy who jumps hurdles. And now they've decided to make things easier for me by removing the hurdles so I can just go straight. And then mentally, I just look at that track and I'm like, I don't even want to, the hurdle's not there anymore. Like, so I should be able to go there quickly, but I don't even want to join this race anymore.
But then,
That
bro,
happens to me mentally. It's very weird.
yeah,
I don't know
but
if anyone relates to that.
what you said earlier though about resourcefulness is where you get your creativity from. Maybe that's just the formula that you need. Like that's the formula that
Yeah, I
you
need
need
people,
to
I need
create.
to make sure I keep staying in a
Yeah.
position.
Like it
Yeah.
might be like if I go to an example like let's think of AJ,
Mm,
boxer, he always goes to that he always has to do his training camps in them dead out flats where he's staying in the crack den
true.
and just has to be in that so man's in the right mental frame to get the best out of his boxing. If he was just chilling in his mansion, maybe he wouldn't be able to get the best out of his boxing. He needs to go into that environment. Maybe it's the same for you. You need to be in a place where, raw, I haven't got much at hand. This is how then I can make something happen. It might
Yeah.
just be that way, you know. And
Simple as that.
and so are you saying that now you've started to create environments where that's the case so that you
Um,
can create?
so I don't purposefully create them, but I am kind of like aware of it. So the moment I buy, like when I got myself a tripod
Yeah.
for the Where's Nobody, because at first I was just putting the camera somewhere or try and find someone who could take the picture for me.
Mm.
So the moment I got a tripod, I had to like be aware and tell myself like, hey, I can't just stop doing this. I need to start thinking of how I'm going to use this tripod now and start doing it. It's just something I had to make myself aware. I remember I got myself, when I was doing the Where's Nobody, as you know, it's a morph suit.
Yeah.
So I can only be Where's Nobody when I've got the morph suit on. And that's a whole suit to be wearing. Something I can't wear in every situation. But there
Of
will
course.
always be those times where I want to be Where's Nobody right now because it will be cool, quick. Like just quickly, I would love to quickly just be Where's Nobody because I don't know when next I'll be here, wherever I am in this moment.
Yeah.
So I got myself like, I basically got myself this mask. So this is nice, detachable, something I can carry with me and just have a black hand for a glove.
Coming like Spider-Man out here, you know.
But I've barely used it.
Ah.
I've barely used it. Like that is a little bit of a problem. That's me being that's that thing happening to me, and I need to be aware of that. And
Mm.
I need to really actively make myself think of ideas. Those are places where I need to push myself sometimes. Yeah, it's just weird, the little different things you have to learn about yourself sometimes when you're being creative, especially if you want to be creative all the time. Like you're not just doing it to do here and there. You want to be in a place where you can keep functioning all the time, or as much as possible. You have to learn about yourself and see what makes you tick, what puts you in the right box to
Yeah,
like
man.
you need.
You have to learn your own process when you start the process.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bro, I feel like that's a good place to wrap things up. Got to
sure.
learn about yourself in the process, man.
Of course,
That's
man.
the
Of course.
that's the
You
answer,
will learn
really.
about yourself. You will learn about yourself, and you
Mm,
gotta make sure you're thinking about what you're doing because you don't wanna just be going in circles wondering what's going on. Like think about what's making you tick while you're doing all these things.
mm.
Think about what's making you as productive as possible. If you find yourself being unproductive, try and figure out why. Try and figure out why. You
Yeah,
know, it will make it easier for you in the future.
yeah. That I find that it's usually an emotional thing, like you were saying. Like you follow a thought pattern and then you end up in an emotional state which doesn't allow you to create. So yeah, and like you were saying, you're still learning that. I'm still learning that. Definitely,
Mm,
it's early days, but yeah, at least having that awareness of knowing, okay, there's going to be something I have to face up to, like a demon,
Yeah.
and it's about being the demon's friends so you know how to manage them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
At
like,
least puts you in the best position to fight against it.
yeah, for real,
Yeah.
man. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, isn't
Absolutely.
it? So, man, like Nneji, that was lit, you know. That was sick, bro. That was
This was
actually
fun.
sick.
This was fun.
Yeah.
This was fun.
So for the people that are watching on my platform, how can they find your stuff? Which apps should they look for? Where should they look for you? Tell them. Tell them.
Look for me everywhere. When I say everywhere, I say look for me everywhere
Sheesh.
at Where's Nobody. The primary place of contact is Instagram. That's where you see most of my stuff firsthand. But I'm everywhere. So Instagram at Where's Nobody. If I can fight Instagram and fight the guy who has the at nobody tag, I will, so that I can take that. I'll still keep the Where's Nobody. I'll just own both and upload on both. But
Yeah.
that would be lit if I can get at nobody on everything.
Hey, maybe when you get like to a certain level, you can be like,
Yeah,
hey,
when I have that leverage,
everyone spam this guy to get off this app.
I'll just get, when I'm in a position where I can ask Gary V, like, yo,
Yeah.
can you send your minions to do something?
Hey, I think you sort my man out.
Exactly.
Oh man, Nneji, man, it's been real.
Yes, good speaking to you.
Yeah, we'll do this sometime soon, fam.
Definitely.
All right.
I'll hit you up.
Hey, so thanks for watching this episode on the Garden of Eden. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have, of course, got some value from this. Also, if you want to see more content from me, and little bits of the show before they go live, please follow either my Instagram channel at Dami Edun or the podcast Instagram channel at Garden of Edun _. And yeah, I'll be looking to give you some more content on those platforms. Yeah, thanks for listening. Safe.